Nintendo Switch Online, an absolutely just terrible online service, which most console online services are, but still this one is especially bad. And for some reason, recently on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people defending the Switch Online service. I don't know why they're suddenly really defensive about it, or if they've always been super defensive about it and I'm just now seeing it on my timeline. Probably that. But yeah, we're gonna look at some losers who spent $25 a year paying for something that they already own, or something they're already paying for, which is the internet. I also really want to thank you guys for the huge amount of support I've gotten on the channel recently. We've grown by like 400 subs in a week, which is insane. I know you all probably came from the Herman Smith video I made that blew up for whatever reason. So yeah, thank you all so much for your support. And yeah, let's get into the video. Oh, before we get into the video, by the way, if you hear any background noise, I think my neighbors are having a really loud party. Well, I don't think my neighbors are having a really loud party, so that's what you're hearing.
Nintendo Switch Online is still $20 a year. 8 years later, about to be 9 with Switch 2. Big difference? Why didn't they jack up the price after GameCube and Virtual Boy? No answer to that.
Are we now just gonna praise Nintendo for not raising the price on something that shouldn't have a price to begin with? Like, oh, they didn't raise the price of $20 for like 8 years. Bro, they gave it a price 8 years ago. It used to be free. Nintendo Online has always been free, and suddenly they're charging $20 for nothing? Because that's what the service is. The service is nothing. You're now paying for something you used to have for free. It makes no sense to be defending this. Also, they would jack up the price if they knew they could get away with it. But they can't, okay? They've seen the backlash they get when they sell games at like $70 or $80. Okay, they've seen that, for example, Mario Kart World is flopping. That's what my next video is about, by the way, so stay tuned. They see that. The game is selling pretty well, but it's flopping by Mario Kart standards because it's way too expensive and nobody's willing to purchase it. And also, the game's just shit in general. If they could have hiked up the price, then they would have. But they know no one's gonna buy it because they've already managed to trick people and paying $20 for fucking nothing.
Nintendo Switch Online continues to be the best gaming service when you take into account how much you pay per year for it. Nintendo just announced another mouse control game and also first time coming west, Mario and Wario.
Oh my god, guys. It's the best service ever. It's got a Mario and Wario game. That's insane, bro. This is definitely worth spending $20 on nothing. You do understand that this service used to be free because it cost Nintendo absolutely nothing, right? With PlayStation, Xbox, you could make the arguments that they have to like maintain servers, which is kind of true, but not really, right? Nintendo games don't use servers. They use player-to-player connection, which means your Switch connects directly to someone else's Switch, which costs Nintendo zero money. There is no servers. Your Switch is the server, essentially. You're hosting the game, or someone else in the game is hosting the game, which is free for Nintendo. But for some reason, people just seem fine with paying $20 for it. Oh, because we get some NES games that we can fucking get emulated for like free, but we can play them on a shittier emulator on the Nintendo Switch Online store. Why the fuck would you want that? In what world is that worth $20 a year? Even if you think $20 is not a lot of money, you're still paying $20 for shit that's free. Or at least is supposed to be free. Or used to be free, I should say.
Enough time has passed. Nintendo Switch Online is better than PSN and Xbox Game Pass.
They all fucking suck, dude. They're all absolutely horrible, right? The only service is good is Xbox Game Pass, but now that they've raised the price to $30 a month, which no one is paying because no one can fucking afford that, that service now sucks too. I mean, I guess maybe compared to the other two, Nintendo Switch is better, maybe, but it's comparing like dog shit to cat shit. Which one's better? Like, it's still both shit, my guy. I don't know. Who cares? The Nintendo Switch Online and PSN are both services that force you to pay for the internet you already pay for. Like, it's like, how could you in any way, shape, or form fucking support that shit? And if you're like, oh, but I like the retro Nintendo games I get to play, well then that should be a separate service. If it was $20 a year, specifically just to play these Nintendo games, I think people wouldn't have as big of a problem with it as the $20 a year for the absolute shit online connection that doesn't work half the time.
Switch Online ain't even that ass. You just got bad internet.
No, Switch Online is that ass. It is fucking shit. Okay? Because it's not about my internet. It doesn't even matter how good your internet is because there are no servers. And Switch Online works on a switch-to-switch connection system. If there's only one person in that sort of connection group in your I guess game you're playing with that has bad internet, that could fuck up the entire thing for everybody, regardless of how good your internet is, right? Especially if the person who's chosen to, I guess, host, right? Because one person's Switch is hosting the game that everybody else is playing on. If that person has shit internet, then the game is running on shit on internet, and you're gonna lag regardless of how good your internet is, bro. It has nothing to do with your own internet. It has to do with the fact that it's a stupid fucking switch-to-switch connection, which, again, I wouldn't be complaining about that internet connection if it was still free like it was 8 years ago. But now that I have to pay money and it's still shit, like, what am I paying the money for then? At least when it was free, I could kind of justify it being shit because it was free. But now that it's paid for and still shit. This tweet is a response to a Fritanga tweet talking about how bad Nintendo Switch Online is.
For that quality of online service, you still stuck in 2017, that service is actually pretty great for what it provides, especially for that price point. Worst offender here, LMFAO, shut the fuck up.
I wish it was still 2017, bro, because back then, the Switch service was shit, but free. So, I could kinda justify it not always running perfectly good, right? I could kind of justify the game lagging sometimes. That was fine, because I wasn't paying any money for it. Okay, now I don't pay anymore, but now you're supposed to pay $20 a year for a shit service that's the exact same as it was when it was free, but now I guess you get free games that run on a shitty emulator that you could just download on your computer and get to run better there and free. And also you get to have them for all time. Because that's another issue with this service. I would have way rather had it that I could buy the retro games. Why the fuck can I only play these games on Switch through this stupid online service? Why can't I buy them? And this is an issue because when I decided to no longer pay for Switch Online because I'm refusing to give Nintendo any of my money anymore, I lost my entire Ocarina of Time save file. The entire thing. It's just gone, okay? I was playing Ocarina of Time, having a good time with it. It's an amazing game. And now I can never finish the game because I don't have access to my save file anymore and I would have to start all over again if I wanted to play the game again. And not just that, because that's specific to me. You are not gonna have any access to any of your save files anymore on any of these retro games once the service shuts down. Once the service shuts down, you're fucked, right? Once Switch 1 online service gets shut down, you don't have any access to any of those retro games save files anymore because you had no other way to access those games except through Switch Online, which is fucking stupid. Also, it took them like 8 years to add GameCube games, which is like the thing everybody wanted, and now you have to pay extra in order to get the GameCube games. You have to pay, what is it? Like you have to pay for like Nintendo Switch Online Plus or some shit? I don't fucking know, but you have to pay extra money to get access to the games you actually want to play. Anyway, boys, those were some of the tweets that I saw defending the absolute shitfest that is the Nintendo Switch Online service. You'd think with bringing out a new console, they might actually try to justify the price, but I guess they just don't care. They think as long as they can ship out retro games that run on shit emulators, like you can literally get an emulator on your PC, sometimes even on your phone, that run these games better than a Nintendo Switch Online system does. With that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Again, guys, thank you all so much for the recent support, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.